All right, we have the PlayStation 5 Pro and we have the pricing. To that, I want to ask, what is the value proposition of owning a PS5 Pro? The answer is nothing. Number one, you can buy PC hardware that is better. I have videos and I have playlists and I have PC parts lists to actually prove this. Number two, you can play all of these so-called PlayStation 5 exclusives on PC, and the ones that are not there can more than likely be emulated. And in terms of a subscription service, you have Xbox's Game Pass that actually provides better value financially. And if you decide you wanted to go on PC, you can get a lot of free games and rebuild your library from sources like Epic Games, Amazon using Twitch to give out free games, and even other companies from time to time. You can also leverage a lot of the sales that are on digital key sites. And before you know what's going on, you can have a PC library for way little, a fraction of the cost than you would on your PS5 and even your Xbox. I see a lot of people making this so-called comparison of, oh, well, the PS5 Pro provides you this value compared to, say, building a 4090 PC. To that, I say that is a very silly comparison in the nicest way possible. A lot of these folk have no idea what they're talking about. They have a lot of Twitter followers because some people are easily gullible. But a 4090 class, even a 4080 class, or 7900 XTX class are all production grade devices. No one who is gaming needs that kind of computing power, unless, of course, they're just enthusiasts and they just wanted to do it. What anybody needs is a $200 graphics card, a $50, $60, $70, $80, $150 CPU at any rate, and they're good to go. All of this talk about performance and all of that nonsense, you can already see that a console is, by engineering standards, limited, simply because it cannot manage heat as well as a gaming desktop will. Its processors and its graphics processing are all in an APU, which is limiting it. Its RAM is usually not necessarily as fast, and everything by any measure, by any stretch, is not a better computing device than a PC. So when you think about it, there's basically right now no value on PlayStation's side. They're literally giving you air and wanting you to basically, believe it because they paint it with a coat of paint that you probably may not necessarily see otherwise. But here we are on the internet, we're basically pointing out from the consumer perspective the things that gamers need to take into account when they're dealing with a lot of these companies. One really interesting thing that I see here in today's market and in today's conversation is that at the end of the day, you really have to think about why Epic Games Store struggles and why games that stay exclusive on Epic Games Store struggle. It's the same thing you're seeing on PlayStation. PlayStation is there money-hatting other third-party games. They're locking their games to their platforms. But then, before you actually say Jack Robinson, they run to the other platforms and put their games on there, like on PC, even Nintendo Switch. In fact, they're now coming day one on PC. So they're signaling to their third-party partners that their day one, that their exclusivity is not viable. I mean, look at Until Dawn. It's coming as a day one game. Look at the Lego Horizon Adventures. It's coming as a day one game. Concord came as a day one game. Helldivers came as a day one game. So what they're telling their own partners is, hey, man, our own base cannot even carry our own software. So again, they've decided that on all metrics and all fronts, that nothing they can provide is strong enough to sustain itself anymore in this market. So again, this whole facade that PlayStation was the console leader and all that has been out the window for a long time. We just needed to wait for them to try to gouge you with the PS5 Pro for some of you to see it. Some people are even there saying, well, I'm not going to move to another platform because I'll have to wait for PlayStation games. My dude, there's nothing wrong in waiting for a game. You get mostly, if you're a PC player, you get the better version of the game and you get it for less money. I think that's probably a better proposition. I mean, wouldn't you agree? Think about, like, say, a car, a product, or whatever it is. If they told you that in 12 months, you'd be getting a better version for less money, would you not be willing to say, sure, I'm willing to wait? Let me give you an example. You want to go buy a car. You take your old car to the dealership. I wouldn't even advise that, but still, maybe you want to do that. And you get to the dealer and the dealer is like, oh, what do you want? And you say, well, I want this car. And they say, well, in like 24 months, we'll probably have a better version of the car. And it's going to cost you, 30% less money. If you decide that you want to go ahead and pay 30% more, then you are not financially savvy. In fact, you are making an emotional decision and not using a logical sense to save money in your pocket. That's basically what it means to actually be financially smart. PlayStation is depending on those who are not financially savvy, those who are impulsive in their buying, and also those who continue to spread the misinformation and lead people astray in thinking that this PS5 or PlayStation as an ecosystem at all is actually a good, valuable ecosystem. It's not. On the financial side, PlayStation has to be on the hook for spending hundreds of millions of dollars on their titles and their games. They are not going to have that output with the way the economy is. If they have to have that output, they will continue having to close studios and reducing their workforce to be able to save a lot of money, to be able to spend a lot of money. Their IPs are not really that strong. Other studios, other third-party publishers are doing better in sales compared to their IPs. Examples, Black Myth Wukong, selling more than God of War Ragnarok in a shorter period of time. Example number 2, Elden Ring, outclassing Horizon Forbidden West at launch. Exhibit number 3, Hogwarts Legacy, basically cleaning up Spider-Man's launch in the same window. So, again, what is the value that PlayStation actually provides? When I'm looking at it from the perspective of the market, I'm looking at it from the business perspective, I'm looking at it from the perspective in terms of hardware, in terms of looking at data, I don't see any value. And finally, what does PlayStation actually think its value proposition is? The reality is, when we look at the Insomniac leaks from 2023, which you see a PlayStation document where they do their threat analysis, PlayStation realizes that its value proposition in terms of its subscription service is not close to what Xbox provides. In fact, they call Xbox's subscription service more of a, gold tier subscription service compared to what it is that they offer. The documents are out there. I've seen some people try to minimize the documents. Someone in my comment section the other day said, oh, those old Insomniac leak documents, my dude, those documents were dated. They had a date of about 2023. PlayStation was looking at those analysis as early as 2023, and they still understand and realize that. And no one can tell me right now that they are not threatened by it, and so they are reducing their own losses that they're going to take on a console and trying to, forward that cost on the consumer. They want to take advantage and capitalize of the fact that people are not aware of the fact that they're freaking out. They said it themselves that Xbox has leapfrogged them because they're able to deliver on PC, mobile, and cloud. They know this. And for some who may say Xbox doesn't have any games, you're also lying, because Xbox has a lot of games. It's just you're not interested in them. For those of you who say Xbox games are going to come to PlayStation, so what? They're going to basically use the Trojan horse, strategy, which they're already using with Minecraft and Call of Duty, and they're going to use it with whichever games they choose to. Not everything's going to come to PlayStation. They understand and realize exactly what they're doing to give their brand and keep their brand in identity and give it the identity that it needs. They're going to keep some games on the Xbox platform. I also want to go, and talk to some of the Xbox fans. You have no faith. You're literally freaking out at every turn, and you're seeing PlayStation crash and burn from within. All you got to do is sit back and relax. You are the Steam of console. You are sitting on the Steam platform of consoles right now, which is a big deal. Xbox has so many things that it provides for you in terms of just an ecosystem that is almost Steam-like in some essence. Now, the one thing that they can do better is stop charging for you to play online. But my goodness, it's such a wonderful ecosystem. If you're a console player, it provides you value, keeps money in your pocket, keeps you rich. PlayStation, on the other hand, wants to suck dry to the bone its own folk. Leave them. Let them fight. Let them continue to take the rope and just hang themselves. At the end of the day, people are going to wake up and realize that all this while, they've just been getting scammed. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.